How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you my review of Trigun Stampede. So before I begin, please give me a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe, hit the notification bell, be notified of more videos just like this one, and do not forget to hit that bell button. That's the way you find out. So I'm doing this different than how I do all my other stuff, or well, unless you watch my Chainsaw Man reviews, I'm just gonna go ahead and just talk. What is Trigun Stampede? Well, unless you are not unless you're not an anime aficionado from the 90s, or if you're younger than the age of 30, or should I say younger than the age of 27, you probably don't know Trigun, probably never heard of Trigun. Trigun is about Vash the Stampede, which, as I was writing my notes out, I figured out why they call it the Stampede. About guy, you know what? This isn't really spoiling anything, right? Because the show came out in 1998, and then in 2003 came over to the West. So you've had years to watch this. Vash is a gunman. He's called the Humanoid Typhoon. He's a natural disaster. Trouble seems to always follow him. In the original and in the manga, there's Millie and Meryl. They are sent to follow him because they are from an insurance company, and we can't really insure people if he's technically a natural disaster, so they're trying to figure that part out, right? But Vash has a twin brother, Knives, who's nihilistic, wants to kill all people. The ending to the manga is different from the ending to the anime, and I like Trigun so much. Showed up on Adult Swim, I think G4 TV too. I have phone notes too. I can just pull this up. But I like Trigun so much that this is one of the few shows where I love the dub. I don't know if it's because of that 90s goodness, but the dub is really good. This is one of the first notable roles of Johnny Young Bosch when it comes to anime, right? Obviously, you know him from Power Rangers, but the show's great. Apparently in Japan, the anime didn't do well. The original anime didn't do well. But when it came over here to the United States, we ate that thing up. Vash's character and show has been compared to Rurouni Kenshin because Vash is technically a pacifist in the manga and in the anime. And from the notes, the things that I was reading for my notes, a lot of people couldn't understand the plot or the show, I guess. I mean, how do I say this without being disrespectful, being rude? It's some people need things bam, bam, bam in your face. Once the plot, I don't get it. Some folks, much like myself, I will watch a show from beginning to end and like to be, slowly revealed what's going on. That's very much what was going on with the original Trigun, which is how I can see the correlation between it and Rurouni Kenshin, because you know who Batosai the Manslayer is, and over the course of episodes, over the course of the books, you find out more and more about his history. Why is this guy a pacifist? Why does this person never want to kill again? What is the deep history? And there's a lot of differences in this show. First of all, the studio that's making the show is Studio Orange. You're probably saying so, who the hell is Studio Orange? Because that's what the hell I said. Studio Orange is responsible for Dimension W, which I've never seen it, but I've heard of it. And that's in regular art. This is 3D animations. Put a pin in that when I get back to that. They've also done B-Stars. I'm never watching B-Stars, but they do B-Stars. You know how B-Stars look. It's with this 3D look. They did Godzilla's Singularity Point. I still need to watch and review that, but these are the shows that they've done, right? So it's not bad. It's cel shaded 3D animation. It's not bad. It's reminiscent of like some of the scenes that you see with Demon Slayer, where it's like, oh, you can tell that's 3D, but it doesn't get in the way. This whole show's in 3D, save for a few things, such as when you see a picture of Vash and Knives on with Rem on Rem's desk during the flashback scene of everything going to hell, or I think that was the very beginning of everything going to hell, it's very much hand drawn. The bounty photo of Vash, hand drawn. the flyer that's supposed to show him, it's actually a manga panel of the original Vash. I don't know why you just couldn't draw it. I mean, I get that a lot of these animations is a lot easier to do it with the cell shading thing, and I don't know. I would have waited another 2 or 3 years just to get some more. I feel like hand drawn shows are starting to become a lost art, and it's interesting because when we see Meryl's information sheet, her picture is actually in the cell shaded, so maybe it's some nods here and there. At the end of the outro on here, very much so, it's a still from the original show of Vash on the cliff looking down. So what can I say about this show? This isn't a reboot. No way in hell this is a reboot, because in reboots, events happen differently, things happen differently, but you always see the same characters. Just like, I'll compare it to a video game. Final Fantasy VII remake. Well, is it a remake or a reboot? It's really hard to say that, isn't it? See, it's hard to cross over when it comes to the different type of media, because in the Digimon 2020 reboot, literally all the characters are there. Events don't happen the same. Every single character is there. The spirit of the characters are embodied to a T, and you trim the fat, get rid of some of the dumb stuff that doesn't work, and here you go. You have the characters. You even have, I think, outside of Myotismon, you have the classic villain of Devimon, and then you get a bunch of new stuff and some throwbacks because it's been years, right? Even Digimon, something from the 90s and 97. All right, we've had a long franchise. Let's throw in other stuff, but we're going to give you some of the stuff that you know. This is more or less the same because Wolfwood is in the show, but I'm miffed because the character of Millie has been replaced with this guy named Roberto. This dude's name really Robert De Niro. I think his name is Roberto De Niro. Please let me check. Let me check my things real quick, because I'm pretty sure that his name is Roberto De Niro. Oh my god, that wasn't even subtle at all. He's actually voiced by Kenji Mutō. For anybody that likes Tokusatsu, Kamen Rider, Kenji Mutō, he was in Kamen Rider Hibiki. He was the voice of Jiro in Kamen Rider Kiva. Really good dude. I like his voice work, really great. The guy that's actually playing Vash, Yosugi Matsuoka, he's the voice of Inosuke in Demon Slayer. He's done some other stuff, but Inosuke is the most important thing. I'm miffed about Millie because one of the cool things about the 90s and the 80s is when you have these heroine characters. See, nowadays everyone's mad about everything being forced, forced inclusion and all that other shit. I'm a fan of when, people live in this world, right? There are people of different shapes, sizes, colors. There are men, women, and others. For Trigun, when you had these two the first thing it starts off with is these two women. It's like, cool. We're always going to see these characters. We see them for 90% of the show. Period. And you're losing an element there for me because Robert's character is the grizzled. By the way, Robert and Meryl, they're reporters. So Meryl is fresh out of November University. She's 23 in here. The original show, she was 21. Millie was 19. After the time skip, Millie was 21. So I'm going to assume that Meryl would have been 23 or whatever. Or no. So whatever. Don't care about that. That doesn't matter. But now you have a different element. He's this grizzled guy. He's like, Rookie, you're too soft. This guy Vash, he's too soft. He drinks. And so he's kind of the pessimistic, hard edge view of the world. And Meryl she's young, she's spunky. She wants to be the best reporter. She wants to get the top scoop. She wants, still sees the world not in, the world's not black and white to her. She still sees that you can do good things. Although she lies to the Julia, whatever, the July military corps that are looking for Vash, telling him he's another way because she wants to get a scoop on this guy and say, well, we can get a scoop, and if he actually isn't a bad person, we can clear his name. So there's that, right? And her personality is vastly different to how she was before, because if you were to kind of switch them around, she was the hot-headed, distrusting of Vash, didn't really, just, what's the good word? She's that type of character, right? You know what I'm trying to say. Distrusting, hot-tempered, just a stick in the mud a lot of the times, but a good heart. Meryl was the optimistic one. She did what needed to be done. She had that cool ass Gatling gun thing, and they were all armed. They're not armed in this one. The only person who has a gun is Vash, and he didn't even have any bullets until he got one bullet at the end of this episode. I'll get to that in a second. So this is completely different. And I don't know if I want to continue on this ride because of how different it is, or if I want to stay or if I want to go. I feel like I want to stay just to see where it's going, because now it's completely modern shonen, right? You get the flashbacks of what happened very early on, as opposed to little plops here and there, because the 90s storytelling, baby, just like it reminds you of Cowboy Bebop, right? You get all these episodes, and all of a sudden you get a drip here. Oh, here's a villain that wants to do in the real Vash, not a fake Vash, and he kind of knows what's going on. He's a follower of Knives. Oh, what's going on with this Knives thing? And Vash kind of disappears on the girls so they don't end up getting killed, because people around him gets killed, right? And then you have this, where Roberto goes flat out, so who are you afraid of, guy? Like, is it connected to the plants? By the way, the plants literally are plants that provide everything for humans to live on this planet called No Man's Land. That's literally the name of the episodes. That's the name of the planet. But I do find it funny, and I kind of rolled my eyes to give us exposition. You have Roberto talk trash to Meryl, go, yeah, I bet you even know about these, right, rookie? Of course. And she begins to explain what the hell they are. You have the whole Vash explains to him, you heard a million knives. Look, I have a brother, million knives. We see at the end is like, oh, Knives basically says, I committed this, I did this, I killed everybody, don't worry, I saved the plants. Very reminiscent of the original. And he blames Vash somehow. Man, you even killed Rim. Remember, you're an accomplice in this, which that's going to add a layer to Vash's survivor's guilt. Even though him and his brother are these weird alien things. Doesn't matter. And we'll get into why humans are going to a different planet, because they used up all the resources. All that is just backdraft for the setting to the story. The thing is, you have all that in episode 1. You're like, oh man, cool. His brother killed the woman that's kind of like a mom to them, and he's mad about it, and he wants revenge. I mean, even in the manga, it's the same thing, but you don't get to it right away. This is very much shonen. What do you mean, Shane? Demon Slayer. What is Tanjiro's main goal? I got to kill the guy that killed my family. Cool. What's another one? What's another shonen anime that's out right now? What's Midoriya Deku's main thing? I want to be a hero. All right, now I'm a hero. I'm gonna save the world. That's you got it. You see the villains. You don't see the villains early on with that. That's kind of better writing than this, but it kind of is what it is, right? At least in that show, it's sprinkled going forward. I think that's my main complaint. Is I worried about it embodying the spirit of it, and it definitely has a spirit, because the original Trigun was comedy with some cool ass action. Amazing animation, by the way. That was done by Madhouse. Madhouse will always be the best. But you get the comedy, right? Because when they meet up with Rosa doesn't even want to have anything to do with Meryl. She's like, you gotta speak up if you want to order, right? And she sees Vash. She's like, oh, Vash, yeah, he saved us. He fixed the plant for free. Wait a minute. Why is he tied up? Depending on your answer, it might get bloody in here. And he's like, oh no, they're my friends. And he easily gets out of the ropes. So it's like he was technically never captured by you guys because he'd have gotten out a long time ago. We just don't know why he decided to hang upside down in the desert with other dead bodies. It very much embodies that funniness because you got the asshole military chief guy. He's like, all right, I'm not going to shoot you with the gun. I'm going to use the cluster bombs. And then I'm going to stop you from getting the one bullet that Rosa gives to Meryl to throw at you. When everybody else in the town is like, we're not dealing with this. We're going to get inside and stay safe. After Vash told him to get inside and stay safe. You get Vash tripping, trying to get the bullet. You get the comedy there. You also get you feel the spirit of Vash where it's like, initially he's trying to walk off when Meryl's like, oh, you're pretty handy with the gun. He's like, nah, I didn't even know one bullet would be enough. Tee hee hee. And it's like, come on, man. We've seen enough anime. We know that you're bullshitting. So you got to add some more layers onto this to make it fresh and new. Besides replacing one of the female leads with knockoff Robert De Niro. Right? So Vash's spirit is there. The character he does a cool thing. He takes one bullet, his new funky robot arm, very very cyberpunk reminiscent, with the little bone. It's not like old school robot arms. It looks like a femur. Throws it up, shoots it, and all the rocks scatter and make the thing blow up. You can see how people that he helps are conflicted because 60 million double bullshit man, that's enough to pay for a new plant. And even Rosa's like, I don't really want to turn this guy in. He's nice. He's doing stuff for free and he doesn't have to. They even animate the little sweat drops. That's interesting because for the emotions, for the emoting and stuff like that, such as when Vash, I think he says, you guys are nice and you're cute, blah, blah, blah. There are subtle movements and emotions that you can show with that you really can't do too much with traditional animation. That would be left up to voice actors to kind of do that. Or maybe you could do it. It just takes a little bit more work. I'm give you pros and cons here. Some of the things that I notice. I'm still miffed about Millie. It's just, yeah, Wolfwood, and that's great. You could have literally had Millie here, and we finally get that Millie Wolfwood romance that a lot of people wanted. But this is different. Let's talk about Vash real quick. Vash's coat goes from magenta in the sun to the traditional nice I want to say crimson, but it's a good red, right? Look up Vash the Stampede, just regular. Such a great design. It's why people like Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. That's a good red. It's a good look. It's a great look. And the show feels less like this is supposed to be a Mad Max Wild West kind of thing, right? It doesn't feel like that. It feels like cyberpunk. It actually feels like it's the 32nd century. It feels like cyberpunk 2085, but we're trying to make things work because of how everybody's dressed. Robert De Niro's dressed like a normal ass dude. Meryl's look, though, is very much an updated look to her original look from the anime. So I like that. That's cool. But Vash's look, and this was one of the things that turned me off when they first announced this show. Magenta coat. He has the cool hacker girl haircut. What does that mean? Shave faded sides with the rest of it long. The dude looks like Sombra from Overwatch, and we've seen looks like Sombra, looks like the muscle Russian girl. There's so many other characters that look like that. It feels like they were designing him in the late 2010s, so somewhere between 2016 to 2018. They're like, this look looks super cool and cyberpunky. I like the design of the coat, but the color is just magenta's okay, but just meh. And I'm not trying to say it just to be negative. It's just it is very much different. So I don't know how I can really rate this, right? I'm not trying to I'm really trying. The one thing I will hold it to, I want to hold it to the standard of the original as being good anime, like good storytelling, good action. This is a first outing, right? So you gave us the background. Now that you spilled the beans, you gave the background. We don't know why Knives did what he did, right? I kind of told you why he did it. He's crazy. He's evil. He would see him at the end. He even says he wants all these creatures to die. He wants to kill humans, right? So now that you've given us the backstory already, you've given us who the villain's going to be. You've given us, our main three characters, unfortunately, one of not Millie. You have nothing else holding you back. Now you got to make sure the adventures are good. You got to make sure the rest of the action's amazing. I know one of the annoying things in the past was the whole pacifist thing, where now he has to find cute alternative ways to solve the problem with the gun without actually killing anybody. Okay, fine. But he never said he was a pacifist in this. He just doesn't want to fight. And he probably doesn't want to fight because one of the cool things he does before shooting all the rocks, the guy's shooting him point blank and he's Wesker dodging and just flips him over and chops him in the back of the neck with the gun, right? He can handle himself when he needs to. Not against his brother, though. That's how he got that arm. I don't care if that's a spoiler. Just that's how he got that arm. But yes. Maybe if I see the look out of 5, I give the look a 3. I've seen the shell shaded thing before. It's not horrendous. It's not offensive, but it's really not that unique. Honestly, the only character I actually like in this look is actually Meryl. They even animate, you see the pink of her lips and everything. Her look is great. She looks great in this medium. I don't know so much about Vash. Jury's out on that. So I'll give that a 3. The feeling of it doesn't feel like Mad Max Wild West. Feels like cyberpunk. We're trying to rebuild the world-ish kind of thing. Like, I can see the Western elements creeping into it with the bars and the towns named after, months of the year on the calendar. I'll give that a 3 as well, because I'll give it a 4 because it does harken back to the feel of it. The feel of the show gets a 5 out of 5 because it's comedy action. It's action comedy, however you want to say it. It's decent. It's good. I say it's good for right now. So for a first outing, with all this in mind, I'm going to be fair and I'll give it a 4 with an asterisk because this is not perfect. I have slight issues with being told the whole story, regardless of me knowing the whole story. I have a slight issue with being told the whole story. That is what made, I guess, older animes of that caliber so well. You have a first episode. Hey, this is how we're going to get you hooked. Do you want to see where this goes? Yes, sir, please. Now it's like, here's a story. Now do you want to see where it goes? I guess so. Might as well. I'm watching it now. So I'll give it a 4. If you've seen this first episode, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm legitimately want to hear what you guys think, because this is interesting, right? I need to find other rebooted. Yeah, it's when I think about Shaman King, the Shaman King 2021 reboot, like they took everything from the manga on that one, right? This is something completely new. They took straight from the manga, and it's really good. Like, you trim the fat, you leave some things out that probably don't need to be left, that probably don't need to be redone, and you add some other elements. I've had a good time with that. Still need to finish that, but I've had a good time with that. I'm going to give this until episode 5. So 5 episodes. And then that 5th review, I will tell you what I feel about this thing, and if I feel like I can continue this and not continue it begrudgingly, like another show that I do on Saturdays. So, with that, guys, thank you for taking some time out to listen to me explain about Trigun Stampede. It's a good title. I like the title. It's named after him. I like the title. Please be good, be blessed, wash those hands, take care of yourselves, be good to yourselves, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. And remember, there's someone who would rather talk to you today than be missing you tomorrow. You're never alone. Social medias are right there in the description. Holler at me if you need someone to talk to. I'll talk to you. What's up? What's your favorite anime? Exactly. So let me know what your favorite anime is. So I know Wolfwood fans are just they're never gonna get rid of that guy. Just if this gets a second season, they better put Millie in. Robert De Niro, Roberto De Niro. I don't care how you get him out. Just he can get him out. He can sacrifice himself for Meryl for all I care. I don't need a horrible homage. Anyway, guys, this is Shane, your 60 million double dollar reviewer, and I will see you next time. Bang.